Hello everyone, here we have some things you'll see on the table. I have the SSE smartboard, which is used on all of our York commercial rooftops. I have the CWCVT tool here, which actually replaced the older obsolete map tool device. This allows us to connect with an RJ13 directly into the board. We can navigate the board the same way we could with this display with the CWCVT via Bluetooth through your smartphone. So here we have our display. There's a little black button down here. It's like a joystick, moves up, down, left, right. You can push in for enter. We always recommend not to push in. Sometimes guys inadvertently are pushing in when they're scrolling through it and getting into menus they shouldn't, so be careful not to push in. I'd rather use the cancel or enter buttons here on the side. It's just going to be easier for you. Here I have a USB type A to type C adapter to plug into my phone. I have an iPhone 15. Here we have basically it's a flash drive here made by Verbatim. This is a 16 gigabyte. It has a type C on one end and a type A on the other. It's a little dust cover here. This can be plugged right into the board, the USB port here, to load a unit file into this board. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to erase a file from the board. We're going to connect with the CWCVT tool. But the reason for erasing a file would be if you inadvertently put the wrong file, loaded the wrong file into the board. And it can happen. I've seen it happen. So sometimes technicians, they may have multiple unit files on their flash drive where they do it incorrectly that way. But once you do that, you can't fix this board to make it work unless you have the CWCVT tool here to basically remove that file by changing the serial number on the board. So on the older map tool, which I'm not going to get a lot into the map tool because it's obsolete, but you can go in there and just delete the serial number off completely. With the new CWCVT, it doesn't allow us to leave that field blank, and we have to basically change the serial number. Then you can load the new file that has that same serial number into this board. And that's what I'm going to show you today. So we're going to connect this. This does have an RJ13 port, which is like a phone jack right here on the board. And now that I have it connected, this is going to light up. There's a little display on this tool. There's some information that we're not going to use that we don't need for what we're doing today. Some controls technicians may use the same device for different things. So anyway, now that I hooked that up, I need to go in there with my phone. So let me get my phone. You do need the GoTemp Pro app. Once again, the GoTemp Pro app. So I'm going to open that here. And the first thing I'm going to do is let's get the unit file. So maybe I can go down here, it's better, but I'm going to go here. You have the unit serial number search. So I'm going to put it in here. Actually, the file we're loading, I had already searched before. So I'm going to put it in there and put search. And that can be deleted off. That's basically just showing your past history. So we have unit information, startup selections, fault codes, field records, tech guides. You can get into manuals, wiring diagrams, accessory installation guides, warranty, check the warranty status, registration, a lot of things you can look at right here within the app. I'm actually going down to controls. I'm going to smart equipment. So I'm going to go to the factory controller file. So that file will be the file that was loaded into this board from the factory for the unit that this board was in when it left the factory. The other thing is, I don't want you to get firmware confused with a unit file. You can update firmware in these boards if it has an older version. They are two different things. Firmware would basically be the general software package that is in every board with no unit file. So maybe you're having an issue or something's going on where one of us on the tech team basically tells you to basically update the firmware. Sometimes we do that. It's rare, but sometimes we do it. Sometimes it fixes an issue. Sometimes we end up just replacing the board anyway. But anyway, so I'm going to go to the factory controller files here. I'm going to hit the download. So it's going to be the serial number.csv. If you're on a computer, it's going to be an Excel file. I already have a folder marked unit files under basically the file folder section of my phone, which every phone, whether you have an Android or an iPhone, has that. So I'll put save. And now we're going to go back to home, and we're going to connect this device via the Bluetooth through this app. So I have to go to connect via, and you got to go via JCI BLE. I select that. I'm going to choose discover, and there it sees the device we're going to connect. So here you go. It's going to pull the data out of the board, which it's doing now. It's discovering it. It'll start fetching the data. We'll be able to select the board here in a second. Of course, it says controller discovery and process. This may take a couple minutes. It's usually quicker than this. Why it's not? Well, there it goes. It came up. So taking a little while, but sometimes it's faster. But that's basically saying it sees the UCB. We're going to click on it. And here you will see all the different menus. It's loading the data. This is a board I have for training purposes. So I do have some thermistors tied in to that board. So it's going to show you some temperatures here in a second. So now you can see like an outdoor and a supply, temperature, returns not available. If you look at the top of the screen though, any menu that you would have down here that you can get to through here with the little joystick, you can do right from your phone. So we can go to alarms. So you can see alarms in that board, the status, we're not calling or anything. But we're actually going to go to summary for what we're doing here. We're going to go to unit, we're going to go to view. So you can see now I have a serial number in here. And to remove this file from this board so we can load a new one, we're just going to simply change that serial number in the board. So we'll just take it all the way off. The new one starts with N2G the way I did this for training purposes. So you could delete it all the way off, which let me just go ahead and do that. Then we're going to go N2G 099711121. Apply. And there, that's that. So it's in there. So for right now, I can technically disconnect. I don't need to do anything else in there. I mean, if I wanted to show you things, I mean, like I said, we can go into status, summary, commission. We could essentially go to any menu that we wanted to, as we could down here on the control, and do different things. Like if I want to go into commission, I could go to the quick start. So we can see the number of cooling stages, number of heating stages. And if we wanted to change any one of these, we would just go over here to select it and then type it in and change it. I'm just going to hit cancel. But we're going to get out of here. So at this point, I don't need that. I was just using that to remove the file. I'm going to choose exit and get out of here. So I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to unplug the CWCVT device as we're done with that. So now I'm going to take my little adapter here. Like I said, this would plug directly into my phone if I took my phone case off, but I'm going to use this adapter to do this. So, and then I will plug it right into my phone, which you only see. I'm just going to close the app out. I'm going to go to my folder for files. I'm going to go to unit files. And let me see here. So we're looking for the one that ended in 7121. So I'm going to go copy. Then I'm going to get out of here completely. So down here I see store and go. So let me see. Let me click on store and go. And then I'm going to just basically paste that file into the flash drive. So it's in there. It's showing that's in the flash drive. So that's all I need to do there. So now I'm just going to unplug it because it put it on there. And we're going to take it out of the adapter. We'll plug it here into the board. And then with the board, I'm going to, let me see here. I think I got to hit cancel a couple times. I was already on the board. It's basically scanning my USB. Actually, let me take that back out so I can show you this. Showing I got a bad sensor on this board. It's training purposes. We just plugged it back in. Now it says USB OK, scan 8. And we're going to go down to update. Cursor's on update. And so there I'm going to, let's see, load, we're going to go to restore from update. So now I have to look for that serial number. And here it is, the one that ends in 7121. We're going to confirm it. And now it is actually loading that file in there. It says RTR, then it says 1 minute or 1 MR CFG. Now it says RTR wait. It's literally loading that file into this board now. It says okay, reboot. It's counting down. And guys, when you're loading the file, like, you leave that flash drive in until this board like basically resets and reboots. Don't pull it out too quick. Another thing that should be noted is if your flash drive is larger than 16 gigabyte, it's not going to work. It has to be 16 gig or smaller. So now it's going into the startup delay countdown, which is basically the board rebooting. And so once it's done, that file will be successfully loaded into that board. So it's pretty easy, but you can, do this right from your phone. So we can email the file to you, but with that GoTemp Pro app, that's a nice tool. And there's a lot of different things in that app you can use. We're still counting down. We're about 75 seconds. And every time you turn the power off for one of our units, your board's going to go through that countdown, which is normal. And while it's counting down, guys, I mean, it's, I still have the flash drive in there, have the adapter and all that. I mean, I got that flash drive right off Amazon. I can tell you it's kind of hard to find the 16 gig, in my opinion, in some of the stores I go to, because everything's, 64, 128, 256. So I've been getting them right on Amazon. One time I was lucky, got one right in Best Buy, but it seems kind of rare. But, your cell phone is basically, the smartphones we have today, they're powerful, technically powerful computers. You just got to be a little tech savvy, and anyone can do this. It's not hard. So now it's finished counting down. It's back in its idle screen. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys. So we had the CWCVT tool. We erased the file, basically changed the serial number so we could load the new file. Got the flash drive. Now I can remove this flash drive. Here it is again if you want to see it a little closer. It's made by Verbatim. You got the Type A, Type C. Technically I don't need this adapter if I want to take my phone case off, but who's going to do that in the field? And I don't feel like taking it off either. So other than that, guys, have a great day.